This vlog is going to be dedicated to an idea.
Just those, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so before we get to all this stuff, let's talk about personality. I was watching Love Island the other day. I know, I'm a disappointment. And the host asked one of the contestants what they look for in a partner, to which they replied,
"It's all about the personality."
After that, my mum spat out her water, and my brother said, "Tommy, that's code for..."
He wants to stick his tongue down her throat.
However, personality is important because I was sitting a personality test early in the year, and the first question gave me two options. Are you an extrovert or are you an introvert? This really pissed me off because, well, someone spent time out of their short life conducting this utter personality test. And secondly, the question is just so stupid. Let me explain. Firstly, society actually doesn't have the right definitions of introverts and extroverts. See, when society thinks of introverts, they think of things like shy, antisocial, anxious, loner, scared, quiet, reserved. And when society thinks of extroverts, they think of things like talks a lot, loves, attention, loud, popular, sociable, outgoing. However, these are not what introverts and extroverts are defined as. Instead, these are what is known as generalized characteristics. The actual terms extrovert and introverted were coined by a man named Carl Jung in 19 something or other. And he was a psychologist who wanted to study how people got their energy. Extroverts were people that got energy from others, whereas introverts were people that got energy from themselves. This is really important because just because you're an introvert doesn't mean you have to be all these things. The problem with these and the problem with these is that they're all generalizations, which means that everybody doesn't fit into those two categories. Firstly, not everybody is going to fit into introvert and extrovert. See, if we're looking at this graph, and it's a scale from introverted at one end to extrovert at the other end, it will look something like this. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of people will be in this middle zone, whereby they're not an extrovert and they're not an introvert, they're just somewhere in the middle. Introvert and extrovert are just a concept. You don't have to be an introvert. You don't have to be an extrovert. Ambiverts are a mix of both introverted and extroverted, which covers a lot of the population. Even though a lot of people identify as either introverted or extroverted, I think that basically everyone in the population is ambivert, which means that these phrases introverted and extroverted are really not very valuable at all. I just got my 4 family members, who in theory should know me best, to rank me on a scale of introverted to extroverted. And this is the exact reason why personality tests anger me and trigger me so much. It's because when you ask somebody whether they're introverted or extroverted, you are asking them to define themselves as one or the other and nowhere in between. One thing I've struggled with most of my life is the idea of social vulnerability. At the time of the personality test, I really wanted to change that. And so I was trying to become an extrovert. It would get to the point where I would really be offended if someone said I was reserved or quiet. But I distinctly remember one day in my PDHPE class, a friend of mine said to me that I just won't shut up. And I felt like the king of the world. I felt like I'd finally accomplished all that I had set out to do. However, what I realized was that in these couple months, I confused social vulnerability with putting on a mask. I'm a mix between an introvert and an extrovert. However, I really wanted to get rid of these tendencies. I didn't like them. They weren't who I was striving to become. So instead of accepting that, I put on a mask to try and become this. However, when you put on a mask, it only lasts for so long. Anyhow, enough emotional stories or whatever. The reason extroverts and introverts came about in the first place is that people are always looking for better ways to... Damn, what is happening? Some drunk idiots. Teenagers, am I right? The reason extroverts and introverts came about in the first place is that people are always looking for this. Ways to better describe their personality. These extrovert and introvert labels are bad for two main reasons. Firstly, they irrationally justify actions. By which I mean, if you consider yourself to be an introvert, staying inside all day and being lazy, not going to see any of your friends or colleagues or whatever, your excuse will be, well, I'm an introvert. I don't go outside.
I don't socialise with other human beings.
I get my energy alone. Tommy, you just told me I get energy alone. Why would I go and be with other people if I'm going to lose all my energy? Just because you're an introvert doesn't mean you... The second reason why extroverts and introverts as concepts suck is because they're stereotypes and labels. Both of these things have the same effect. They restrict people from acting how they really want to act. If you're an extrovert who likes to talk a lot, loves attention, and is generally loud, that shouldn't mean you have to act like these things all the time. One of the terrible things about all kinds of stereotypes is that they make people feel like just because they are this, such as an extrovert, they have to be like that all the time. Next time you wonder about whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, think neither. In reality, like basically all people, you're probably somewhere in between. In all, don't let some stupid concept like introvert or extrovert or some personality test or type define your actions. Because when you let something like that define your actions, you become obligated to them. And